All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today we're going to embark on a journey together, a quest to understand one of the most powerful feelings a human can have. An experience that's so big, it kind of breaks our brains and leaves us speechless. We're talking about the quest for the sublime. So let's just jump right in with a question for you. Have you ever found yourself standing in front of something huge, like a massive thunderstorm rolling in, or a mountain that just seems to go on forever? Or maybe just a night sky packed with stars. And you feel this weird mix of total awe and, honestly, a little bit of fear? It's that feeling, right? Where it's both terrifying and absolutely beautiful at the same time. If you know what I'm talking about, well, then you've already started this quest. Well, that feeling, it actually has a name. It's called the sublime. Now, you could look it up and get a simple definition, something like, awe inspired by grandeur or excellence. But that doesn't really capture it, does it? It's so much more than that. It's that sensation of being confronted by something so vast, so powerful, that it just shatters the limits of what you thought you could understand. Okay, so a definition is really just the beginning of the trail. For literally centuries, thinkers, philosophers, artists, they've all tried to wrestle this feeling to the ground, to capture an experience that seems to slip right through the net of language. So let's take a look at how they tried to pin this thing down. Now, a real game changer in this whole conversation came from an 18th century philosopher named Edmund Burke. He basically drew a big, bold line in the sand between two ideas we tend to mix up. On one side, you've got the beautiful, things that are pretty, harmonious, safe, and just pleasing. But on the other side, you have the sublime. And this is key. Burke said the sublime is actually tied to things like pain, danger, and even terror. It's a feeling that comes from facing something so powerful it could literally destroy you. And this idea, you could argue it was the spark that lit the fire of the entire Romantic movement. But this whole idea goes way, way back, even further than Burke. An ancient writer named Longinus had this incredible take on it. He said the sublime isn't just some big, scary thing out there that we're looking at. No, he said it's an echo of greatness inside of us. It's like our own soul recognizes a part of itself in the vastness of the world and calls back to it. It's a response from deep within. So, with that in mind, our quest first takes us out into the world. Let's go searching for the sublime where it's easiest to find, in the jaw-dropping, sometimes terrifying, power of nature and art. And honestly, is there a better example than Van Gogh's The Starry Night? I mean, look at it. But here's the thing you have to remember. He painted this masterpiece while he was in an asylum. He was wrestling with these huge inner demons. So this isn't just a painting of a pretty night sky. He was painting an internal state of feeling. And we know this because we have his letters. He wrote about the sky being this symbol of hope. But at the same time, looking at it gave him this terrible need, a deep, almost painful longing for something infinite. It was beautiful, but it was also agonizing. That's the sublime right there. So how in the world did he get that feeling onto a canvas? Well, it's all about the clash of opposites. Just look at the sky, those wild, swirling, energetic lines. It's pure chaos and energy. And then, down below, you have the quiet little village with its sharp, stable angles. And the symbols, wow, the stars are just exploding with hope, right? But then you've got that dark cypress tree, which so often represents death, reaching up like a flame from the earth. You've got hope and despair, life and death, all swirling around in the same picture. But here's where the quest takes a really interesting turn. See, just looking at the sublime in nature or art, that's only part of the story. A lot of ancient spiritual traditions believed this feeling wasn't just something that happens to you. It's something you could actually build inside yourself. The journey starts to turn inward. And a really powerful example of this comes from Tibetan Buddhism. For these practitioners, the sublime isn't something you just admire from a distance, it's something you master. And they develop these incredible practices like the 6 yogas of Narapa, which are basically a spiritual technology, a toolkit for directly experiencing this sublime state, not as a fleeting feeling, but as your fundamental reality. And this isn't just some vague philosophical idea. It's a literal step-by-step training manual for your consciousness. Look at how it progresses. You start with the physical body, generating this inner heat. From there, you move on to the mind, realizing that reality is kind of like a dream and tapping into this pure, bright state called clear light. And it keeps going, all the way to mastering the process of death and rebirth itself. The whole point is to stop being a spectator of the sublime and to actually become it. Okay, so what does it even feel like to get there? What's at the top of that mountain? Well, let's not guess. Let's hear directly from some of the mystics and poets who spent their entire lives on this very journey. Take the Sufi poet Rumi. He takes our biggest fear, death, and just completely flips it on its head. For him, death isn't this scary ending. He calls it a wedding with eternity. It's not a loss, it's the ultimate union, the moment you finally merge with everything. And he didn't just see it as a one-time thing. He saw all of existence as this grand, cosmic evolution of consciousness. Think about it. Consciousness moves from being a rock to a plant, to an animal, to a person. And what's next? For Rumi, the next death is just another graduation, a transformation into something even greater, something angelic. But okay, where's all this sublime cosmic stuff happening? The Indian mystic Kabir has an answer that brings it right here, right now, into your own body. He says the divine, the ultimate reality, isn't some old man on a cloud. He says he is the breath inside the breath. It's not out there, it's the very thing keeping you alive. And this one really gets me. The moon shines in my body, but my blind eyes cannot see it. What a powerful idea. The whole universe, everything that fills you with wonder, is already inside you. The light's already on. Our everyday, blind way of seeing the world just misses it. The whole quest, then, is about learning how to finally open our eyes. And that brings us to the final leg of our journey. And this is where things get really wild. What if all this talk from the mystics, what if it wasn't just beautiful poetry? What if this inner universe they're describing is a literal, physical, physiological reality? Okay, so I want you to look at the quote that's about to come up. Just read it. And before I tell you who said it, I want you to guess, is this an ancient mystic or a modern scientist? That was Kabir from the 15th century. But think about what he's saying. It sounds an awful lot like a wild idea from modern physics called the holographic principle, the theory that all the information of the entire universe could be contained in one tiny little piece of it. It's mind-blowing, right? The mystics got there hundreds of years ago, just through deep inner looking, the entire universe in a single drop. So what if we take this one step further? What if it's not a metaphor at all? Some of these ancient traditions actually mapped this inner universe onto our own bodies. They described a literal, biological process, a physical event that happens inside us that they believed could unlock this sublime experience on demand. They called it things like the sacred secretion or raising the chrism, and it's basically a story of internal alchemy. It goes something like this. A special oil is created in the brain. This oil travels down your spinal cord. Now, if that precious energy is conserved, if it isn't wasted, it can be drawn back up the spine. And when this refined substance returns to the brain, it's said to illuminate the higher centers, like flipping a switch on your consciousness. It's about taking something within you and transforming it into pure gold, into enlightenment. And that really brings us right back to the beginning, full circle. It's just like Kabir said, within this earthen vessel, he means our body, are the gardens, the creator, the 7 oceans, and all the stars in the sky. Everything. The source of all that sublime wonder isn't out there somewhere for you to find. It's in here, waiting for you to discover it. So, after all of this, the final question really isn't about giant mountains or swirling galaxies. It's about you. The quest for the sublime, it turns out, is the journey to find the vast, powerful, and infinite universe that's already inside of you. So I'll leave you with this. What ocean is waiting inside you?